Truck Series getting ready for final practice at Pocono. Good afternoon and welcome. After a 90-minute session a little bit earlier this afternoon, we're back for the final 55 minutes of practice before qualifying and racing here tomorrow. It is a perfect day here at Pocono. 79 degrees, comfortable humidity, slight breeze. We talked about rain in the forecast, but we haven't seen it. We'll keep our fingers crossed and hope it stays away. But right now, it is just perfect here at the Turkey Triangle. Along with Michael Waltrip and Phil Parsons, I'm Vince Welch. You see the trucks, they're ready to go. How about that first practice? The 9 truck of William Byron was quickest, and Michael, class of the field as far as practice is concerned.
Wow, Vince, and what William Byron did, he had all his teammates come running to him. What are y'all doing over here? Rudy Fugle sharing the information with those KBM racers, trying to get them the speed that William has. You can see Christopher Bell there in the 3rd spot, so he's got a fast truck. But the last 2 times we've been on the big high-speed tracks, Phil, the mile and a half, William Byron has gone to victory lane. We're running speeds up to 180 miles an hour here, and you can see by 2 miles an hour, he's faster than any other truck in the field. I'm making William Byron my favorite. You think I'm one of the
You're out on a limb there.
You're way out on a limb there. I knew I was getting dangerously close to being on a limb there. But that 17 truck right there at Timothy Peters, looking to rebound from a really struggle at Eldora. Historically, this hasn't been one of his best racetracks. 7th is his best finish, but he was fast. He was happy with the truck. We talked to him during that first practice session. 2nd quickest, again, 2 miles an hour off William Byron's, but I think Timothy Peters has a bit of a bounce in his step here.
Well, okay, if we're talking about Byron and Peters being happy with the way practice number 1 went, how about who's not happy? Who's got some work to do in this final practice?
Well, we know Matt Crafton does, and that means that Rico Abreu as well. Those 2 trucks weren't as fast as we're used to seeing them. You can see Crafton already out in line trying to get that valuable track time to make those adjustments. We believe Crafton will be able to rebound, and he'll have a good practice session here because of all the changes he and Junior Joyner has made to this truck during our break.
Downstairs in the garage area, it's Herbie Sadler and Caitlin Vincent. We'll check in first with Caitlin. Hello, Caitlin.
Hello, Vince. Well, Phil, you were talking about Timothy Peters and having a comeback from a tough Eldora race. Well, I just spoke to his crew chief, Shane Huffman, and he said we unloaded pretty good right off the bat. We didn't have to make a whole lot of changes to that 17 truck. Now, they did make a couple minor adjustments in between those 2 practice sessions, but he's feeling very good. And he also referenced the truck race last year where he crew chief for Austin Dillon. Austin ended up finishing 5th. Shane told me I learned so much from that race. Also got a lot of good insight from Austin Dillon on what he experienced in the driver's seat. So he said, I have a lot of confidence coming into this weekend. Could be a good weekend for Timothy Peters. Herbie?
Well, Caitlin, Cameron Haley has been solid this entire season, but gaining even additional momentum over the last couple of weeks. A top 10 run at Eldora. He comes into Pocono off a 4th place finish last year. And I spoke to his team, and he said they are a little bit tight on the exit, especially right there, coming off turn 3 onto the long front straightaway. They made a couple adjustments. Think it'll be better this session, and he needs to be better. He's got a little bit more, let's say, opportunity or need to run better because he's got a new addition to the family. Blakely Elizabeth, born 1 week ago, 8 pounds, 8 ounces. And you know what happens, guys, when baby needs shoes? Daddy needs to go fast.
Well, congratulations to Cameron on becoming a dad. What a great honor and privilege and responsibility that comes with that as well. And you look at our chase standings, Cameron on the outside looking in along with Ben Kennedy, Cole Custer, Ben Rhodes, all drivers that would have been surprised at the beginning of the season if we were talking about them being securely in the chase, but we still got some racing left to do. 5 races remaining before the chase begins.
Yeah, I think Cameron Haley could jump up in the yellow there. That would buy some baby shoes for sure. Right now just 23 points shy. Again, the guys with the wins more than likely locked in here, the top 5. And then Denton Hemrick is pretty secure right now, 46 points ahead of the cut line. Yeah, but Phil, we know that Ben Kennedy can win a race. Cameron Haley as well. Cole Custer, we expect everybody on this sheet right here. Exactly. These are contenders, so this lineup can get shuffled heavily by the time we get to our chase. And this guy's going home in a couple weeks, gets to race in Canada, and we know what an honor it would be, or what a big moment it would be for him to win up there.
You know, last year here at Pocono, struggled in practice and qualifying, but when the race rolled around, he ended up finishing 4th. So you feel like they understand what it takes to get through a day of practice here at Pocono. Granted, now a little bit of a wrinkle into it with a brand new tire here that the teams are having to deal with, but it's always interesting when you struggle through practice and qualifying, but then you persevere in the race and get a good finish, and it really builds confidence in what you can do.
And you have to remember, this race is only 60 laps. It's only 150 miles here, so that's a sprint. But the truck races are a little bit shorter in general, but that's a sprint even for the truck series.
There's going to be a lot of wrinkles, though, in that 60 laps, Bill. We got our caution clock. These crew chiefs are going to have to try to figure out how to best take advantage of. Obviously, the big drafts we see on the straightaways. We'll see these trucks 3 and 4 wide down the front straightaways, funneling into that first turn. This is a great race. It's so much fun to be a part of, to watch it, and see how these guys handle the conditions.
And I think even though we have that caution clock, I think we're still going to see some guys come to pit road knowing the caution's going to come out to try to get to pit road so they have better track position after they pit under green.
And you know, we've done this a long time. We know how smart those crew chiefs are. They're going to be working their brains overtime, making sure that they're able to get that truck to pit road if that caution clock is getting ready to expire, so they can take advantage of pitting under green. If they've got a big enough margin over the leader, get that service done, and when the caution comes out, they'll stay on the track.
William Byron has stolen the headlines here today with being so fast in that first practice. But I think when it all comes down to it tomorrow, this young man's going to be the guy you're going to have to beat. Christopher Bell, no driver has scored more points over the last 4 races than what Bell has accumulated. Really coming into his own with his crew chief, Jerry Baxter. Baxter was the crew chief last year for the winning truck and Kyle Busch. And I just think this team, after struggling out of the gate, those high expectations, they're really putting it together down the stretch here.
Yeah, they certainly are, but you can't top that experience that Jerry Baxter has here. Worked with Michael for a number of years and has won races with countless drivers here in the truck series. Bubba Wallace, obviously Kyle he's won with, so you just can't say enough about the experience on top of those pit boxes.
A lot of experience, some of it good, some of it bad. He did work with me, you know.
Final practice for the trucks at Pocono.